All right, y'all, here we go. Story time part 2. Here where I share a little bit of my life with y'all. Share a bit of my past history to give y'all a clue as to why I think the way I think and why I do the things that I do. Yeah, man, before I go ahead and start ripping, let me see here. Let me go back to my page. Let's see. Yeah, I want to give shout outs to Andra McGee and Dooley. Yeah, I had no idea that I had fellow COs listening to this joint, man. Fellow brothers, man. Welcome to the brotherhood, man. Appreciate y'all coming in, chiming in, commenting on the last show. That's right, man. Shit is not for the weak. Can't be no punk doing this shit. Man. I mean, you got some cats that would discount that because they'd be like, shit, man, my niece or my mom or my sister is a CO or whatever. Yeah, and I bet that your female relative is a total grade A bitch too. Because if she didn't start out being a bitch, if she's still working there, if she's still 2-3 years in the game, up in the spot, up in the prison, if she's still in there supervising them animals, yeah, man, she's a grade A bitch, man. I don't really know too many females that work up in that joint that actually have rational, functional relationships with cats, man. I don't know too many that do. They can't seem to keep a man. I mean, if you thought that females was masculine or black women was masculine, man, shit. Wait till you meet a female who actively works up in the pen, up in the joint. Wait till you meet the man. That's a special kind of animal right there, Jack. Them broads is straight up evil, man. Hella bossy. Super goddamn bossy, man. Nah, I can't do it, man. But yeah, man, shout out to Andra and Dooley, man. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and read off some things that they wrote up under the video. Just want to acknowledge the fellas, man. I'm assuming that Andra is a guy, But Andra writes, man, I needed this because I have been in corrections for 2 years now. All right, 2 years, man. Okay, keep it going. And man, dealing with black inmates is a damn headache, no doubt. They love to sit up there and talk about how the county jail is racist, but then turn around and stab, beat, and steal from one another. Or steal from other black inmates that are weaker than them. Shake my head. Thanks for the drop, Big Mike. No doubt, man. Appreciate you, man. You're very welcome. Yeah, man. You meet a lot of individuals up in the joint, man, that they don't have any sort of sense. They have no idea that they're hypocrites or that they contradict themselves, man, when they be talking. Not very bright. Not at all. Then my man Dooley writes, it's hard for a lot of people in the community to comprehend that all us black COs ain't bootlickers and self-haters. There are a select few of us who can walk the yard and handle the black inmate population because we speak the same language. We're from the same culture. The other side doesn't know how to communicate and relate to black inmates. Yo, this was... Okay, check this out, y'all. I'm not reading his joint right now. I'm just interjecting, man, my thoughts on it. You're right. When I went to the joint and I started working, number one, like I said, I just came back from the military. And I was looking for a lot of my homeboys, man, but I couldn't find them. No one actually knew who I was talking about or where I could find them or whatever and shit. And it just so happened when I went to work in the joint, lo and behold, here they were. They was all locked up at the correctional facility. I'm like, God damn. Like, shit, damn near half my, I don't want to say graduating class, because a lot of them didn't graduate, but a lot of the cats, I went to school with was locked up in that spot, man. And so just like you said, Dooley, man, I mean, we definitely, we walk the same walk and we talk the same talk. Especially if you from the same hood, the same spot, went to the same school. I mean, you definitely connect and you definitely feel for them brothers, man. You know what I mean? So they down there in bumfuck Egypt. And what I mean by that, man, they in Redneckville, Redneck Town, man, being incarcerated, and they being supervised by rednecks. Nah, those COs, those redneck COs, ain't trying to relate to you. They don't give two fucks about you, man. But as soon as I get up in there, like I said, I talk the same talk and walk the same walk. It was refreshing for many of them just to have an individual in there in the position of power that reflects them. You know, they felt a little bit at ease. You know, when I was on the spot, you know, shit wasn't as tense. You know what I mean? So yeah, man, that's real, man. The higher ups, they didn't necessarily understand that. They didn't necessarily like that, man. They thought that I was going to set off a full-scale riot because I actually treated the convicts and the inmates like humans, man. I mean, when I was in the block, I was talking to them pretty much like I was on the block, man. You know what I mean? You know, old habits die hard. You know, all that mechanical talking to them like I'm in a position of power, I'm in a position of authority. You know what I mean? It wasn't, I couldn't do it, man. Especially if I knew you on the street, if I knew you on the line. I mean, half them motherfuckers, man, came over and ate dinner with me and moms and my brother, man. You know what I mean? It's like, wow. So let's get back to Dooley, what he wrote once again. He writes, the main issue I see with black law enforcement officers is they want to go along to get along. Want to be down as ninjas that don't want to offend whatever the department they are a part of with their blackness. Man, that's hella true right there. That's hella true. Many of the convicts was telling me, you know, I might want to dial back my pro-blackness. I mean, they was really looking out for me, man. They was just like, hey, man, I used to literally, now I shouldn't have probably been doing this, but, you know, I low-key didn't give a fuck after I made probation, but I would literally sit in the cipher with the gods and build. You know what I mean? They'd be all around, sitting around, you know what I mean? It'd be like 5, 6 motherfuckers representing, man, doing today's mathematics and all that shit. I was like, ooh, I gotta get some of this. I gotta get some of this, man. Yeah, so whenever anybody had a powwow or a cipher, man, and they was building on something, I was voracious for that knowledge, man. Even though I had on that CO uniform, I was voracious with that knowledge, man. I had to get on in there. And, man, dudes was tripping. They was like, oh, shit. They was like, you know. And so you could say to yourself, I probably shouldn't have done that because familiarity breeds contempt. But, man, you know, I'm going to be me no matter where I'm at, man. Me being a corrections officer, it was never really a good fit anyway. Because I'm not the type of cat, man, I'm not built to just be all in your face and all in your business and, you know, what are you doing and where are you going? You know, I'm not on that, man. I was just in there to get me some money, man. Get me some money and at the same time make sure that my fellow brothers wasn't getting their ass kicked on a regular basis for nothing. You know what I mean? But yeah, that's true right there, man. A lot of brothers, they scared to offend the higher ups with their blackness, and I was not that type. I was not that type, man. Like I said, they used to have my ass outside on perimeter patrol. So I did not have any sort of access or communication or contact with the convicts or inmates because, you know, they was thinking that something was about to go down and they didn't want me in the institution because they thought that I was going to be one of the main tools that the convicts use to take over the institution. All sorts of crazy shit like that, man. Yeah, bruh. But, you know, I get it. I understand it, man. Yeah, they watch me with an eagle eye, Jack. They was watching me. But let's get back to my man's comment. Then he writes, I be behind the wall acting very black. Yeah, do you, man. Do you, Dooley. Do you, bruh. Same here. I was on that same shit. I'm on my own program. I look out for the brothers and make sure that they get what they got coming. It's all about respect, though. For real, yeah. You got to get your respect first. And not just from the convicts or inmates, man, but from the staff as well. Yeah, man. Respect is a very very valuable commodity up in the joint, man. You gotta get your respect, man. Otherwise, you'll fuck around and you'll be getting spit on and getting urine thrown on you. You know what I mean? And I told y'all, yeah, that happened to me. But let me see. Let me run down. I got spit on twice, and I got piss thrown on me twice. And of course, that was early on in my employment with the Department of Corrections, not knowing what I was doing. Cause like I've told y'all, man, especially like when it comes to women, man, you always have a hard stance with a woman. You know what I mean? You always start off hard with her, that way you can soften up later. You don't never do it the opposite. You can't do softness on a broad, softness on a bitch, and then try to harden up on her. It ain't gonna work. And oddly enough, this is a lesson that I learned when I was working in the joint, working in the pen. If I had to go into a block and tame that block, in order to lock it down, in order to get respect, in order to have them do what I wanted them to do, I pretty much had to put my boot on their neck, man. Yeah, for the first month, no, nigga, no. What you doing is you building that respect. You building that respect, man. And then later on, once you've trained them in how you want shit to run, then you can goddamn take your foot off the gas, man. You know what I mean? Yeah. So yeah, gotta get your respect first. And like I said, once you get your respect, then word to get around who you are and what you will and will not tolerate, and you won't be getting spit on and you won't be getting pissed on you. Cause motherfuckers will know, like, oh shit, this is a real one right here. If I fuck around and do that, yeah. And as a matter of fact, let me touch on that just a little bit more, man. Like, cats be asking, like, why was the dirty, animalistic, savage black inmate so quick to spit on you or throw piss on you, and it was like hands off when it came to the white boys? Well, that's pretty simple. Because majority of the white boys, that was rednecks. They have a thing in that institution called nepotism. That means the majority of people that work there are related. So if you have a redneck CO, he's probably got a redneck uncle that works up in the front office. He might have a redneck cousin that might be a unit manager. Or he might have a redneck captain or lieutenant that works in the captain's office. You know what I mean? So it's all interconnected, man. You know what I mean? Them inmates know if they fuck around and they put their hands on the wrong redneck, they may not make it out that goddamn camp alive. Because, yeah, motherfuckers is coming to visit you in the middle of the night, 5, 6 deep, to beat your ass. Now understand this, the black corrections officer, he ain't got it like that, man. We don't have a lot of nepotism up in the joint, man. When we go in there, it's pretty much just us. And then you don't have any sort of unity with the black corrections officers. I mean, I've seen so many black COs turning on each other, man, and having a hands-off approach. I was in trouble numerous times, man. And I didn't receive not one iota of a helping hand from any of them black COs, man. I mean, they was pretty much like, fuck that nigga, man. You know what I mean? I'm like, God damn. You know what I mean? I don't know if they was jealous. I don't know if they was angry or pissed off. They was mad because I was making the spot hot. I don't know what their issue was, man. But yeah, man, the white corrections officers, they have a structure, man. They got backup. You fuck around, put your hands on the wrong redneck corrections officer. Like I said, man, you may not make it out that joint alive, man. But there is no such fear when you're dealing with the black CO, man. The black CO typically does not have an extensive support unit reaching all through the institution, man, of family and friends. And any of the black COs that you claim that you cool with, once again, once the shit hits the fan, more than likely you'll see just how cool y'all are. Because I found out real quick that, most of them niggas ain't got no spine. And they was scared of the institution, man. They was scared of them white boys, man. You know what I mean? While me, I paid the price. I would come out sometimes, man, and my tires would be flat on my Suburban, man. Or they would take the PR-24 sticks and, like, put dings in the side of my ride and shit, man, by hitting my ride, man. And then I would react. I'd be pissed off. I'd go in there and I would have an idea about who it was, and I would go straight to him. And I would tell him, hey, man, if you got anything you want to tell me, tell me now. Or if you don't want to tell me now, we can wait till after work and we can go down to the Waffle House behind the fucking dumpsters and we can talk then. I learned early on not to do that, because the first time I did that shit, I got rolled up for terroristic threats. They was trying their best to fire me. They was trying their best to do anything they could to piss me the fuck off, to make me slip. You know what I mean? Yeah, and I did a couple times, man. I was heated, man. I'm gonna kill one of these motherfuckers. I'm gonna kill one of these motherfuckers, man. I was having flashbacks of the military. So that's why it'd be funny to me, man, when niggas be talking to me about racism. That's racist. This is racism. I'm like, man, half these niggas ain't really ever experienced no real racism. You know what I mean? I'm like, man, fuck out of here, bruh. You know what I mean? But let me continue, man, speaking on what my man Dooley wrote. He writes, they can't and don't tell me nothing about my interactions with the black population. If you project strength and stand up for yourself as a 100% black man, that's for the culture. They'll either respect you or leave you alone, because they know you ain't backing down when you come with the shenanigans. Mm-hmm. Man, you ain't never lied about that, man. That's 100 right there. Yeah, let me reread parts of that, man. If you project strength and stand up for yourself as a 100% black man, that's for the culture. They'll either respect you or leave you alone. Yeah, boy, that's right. Cause that's exactly what I was on, man. I was for my people. I was for my culture, man. Shit. And I know I make it sound bad, like I had the most horrible experience in there, man. But when I think back on it, bruh, like I said, I did 10 years in there, so you gotta take the good with the bad, man. You did have some good dudes in there. You did have some righteous brothers in there, man. And I'm speaking of, the convicts, bruh. That's what I'm speaking on. Not really speaking on too much the folks that worked in there, because oddly enough, I found that many of the folks that worked there had really bad moral character, man. Really bad moral character. I had more love and support from the convicts than I did from people that was actually wearing my uniform. Yeah, seriously, bro. It was just like, and I think it's because of a religious thing. Most of them knew I wasn't, a Bible carrying Christian or whatnot. And I was heavily into the Islamic thing, so I'm pretty much thinking, that was the dividing line. That was what made everything divisive, man. But yeah, man, a lot of the brothers, like I said, the Moorish Science Temple, the 5%ers, the Sunnah of Islam, bruh. Bruh, I even had, now I wouldn't call them rednecks. You got the white boys in the Aryan Brotherhoods. This is going to fuck y'all's head up, man. And that's why I say, in all things, man, you just got to be a man about your shit, man. In all things, you just got to be a man. But I had select higher ups in the AB's Aryan Brotherhood, man, that was fucking rocking with me, man. Weird shit. And you know how I got that is because I basically knew about Norse mythology, about Odin and Thor and Frigga and Frey, and bruh, about Midgard, Asgard, all that shit, man. I could actually sit down and rap a taste with them cats about that shit. And I blew they wig back there. I was like, damn. Okay. Alright, they respected that, man. But at the same time, they knew, I was on that Muslim shit, man. So they were just like, yeah, officer such and such, he alright. You know what I mean? Yeah. We give them a pass. Okay? And the letter continues, or the message continues up under the video. Dooley writes, a lot of so-called men in our culture are subconsciously afraid to stand up to the system, so they try to project their insecurities on you as a black law enforcement officer, because it's impossible for them to imagine you're not getting punked by the other slave catchers. Facts, man, facts. Yep. A lot of motherfuckers can't comprehend, man, that you can stand up to the system. I mean, it's gonna cost you, man. It cost me. Shit, what I mean by cost me, it cost me my peace of mind. Cause I always kept my head on the swivel up in the joint, because you know I was offending the wrong folks, man. The motherfuckers hated my guts, Jack. And since they could never put their hands on me, and they was scared of me in the physical sense, shit, man, the motherfuckers. The prime victim was always my rides. You know what I mean? My rides I would always end up getting dings on the side of my ride, or my tires would end up flat, man. I mean, they was acting like disgruntled bitches. And I always told them hoes, if y'all got a problem, meet my ass down the street at the Waffle House. And then they would try and write me up again for terroristic threats. Shit, they was trying to get a paper trail to get my ass up out of there, man. I remember one day, shit, we had like this little convenience store, and I fucked around and I went to the convenience store. It's like right down the street from the prison, and I went up in there, and like I said, I was like real early this particular day, man. And so when I went up in there, I seen like two white shirts. I seen a captain and a lieutenant who was notorious for always writing me the fuck up, man. And boy, they whole face turned super duper white, man. They wasn't used to or accustomed to seeing me out in the world. You know, whenever they see me on prison grounds, you know, they felt comfortable because they had backup, because they had the system there to protect their ass. But they was shit. I'm like, bitch, you a mile down the road on civilian territory. Man, as soon as I walked in that convenience store, man, they paid for their shit and they jetted. They got the fuck up out that store. I walked up in that bitch and I just stared at them, man. I just looked at them. And then one of them, you know, called himself trying to be brave and was like, how you doing there? How you doing? You know, he actually motherfucking looked at me and spoke, but he cut his eyes away real quick. He couldn't even look me in the face. I'm like, man, I should smack the shit out you right now, man. You know what I mean? But yeah, man. Imagine working in a spot like that for like 10 years. I mean, I knew if I didn't get up out of there, I was going to end up killing one of them motherfuckers, man. But let me keep on reading, man. And the last sentence basically states, they ain't got the heart or balls to tell a captain, I'll shoot your ass like you did. Man, facts. Facts. Hey, you never contend with a man that don't have nothing to lose, man. Sometimes you just gotta say to yourself, fuck it. I'm done. Even though each time I would have a new corrections officer come in for training, I would always tell them, man, you gotta look out for the tricks and the traps that a lot of these rednecks is gonna set off for you. Because quiet as it's kept, they don't want a big influx of black corrections officers, man. They don't want that. So they was always setting black corrections officers up to fail. I mean, man, they would just put massive amounts of paperwork on your ass to get you the fuck up out of there. This is before you made your probationary period. You know what I mean? But to make a long story short, once again, appreciate you, Dooley, man. Appreciate you writing in, enlightening us with that wisdom. But like I said, to make a long story short, I did 10 years, but some things was happening in the facility and the facility had to let me go. I don't want to get into specifics. I don't want to really speak on it and shit, man. But yeah, it was some pretty crazy shit that was going down, and they had to let Big Mike go. You know what I'm saying? But even before that, that ties into that. What I mean by that, there was a situation that involved a handgun and people snitching on me out there in the parking lot. Yeah, man. And, that's all I'm gonna say. I was out in the parking lot, and there was something about a pistol, and I had to, I had to hear from the higher ups about a certain incident that happened out in the parking lot, man. Let's put it that way, man. Don't want to really speak too much on it, man. Well, fuck it. The original plan was for me to go in there and kill as many motherfuckers as I could. At this time, I was taking a lot of meds, man, and, keep me cool. Because I was basically going to a psychiatrist/psychologist. And I was just like, hey, you got to give me something, man, to keep me cool. Because I'm going to pop. I'm trying to tell you, bitch, I'm going to pop. Shit. And the shit that they gave me, man. I mean, I was like always in a dreamlike state, man. I didn't really know what day it was. And, it was hard to keep track of time. And, I mean, yeah, I was just like in La La Land, man. Shit, I think, what was that I was taking, man? I was taking like Risperdal, taking Xanax, taking Wellbutrin. Man, I was taking a lot of shit, man, But all I can remember is showing up at the prison. I had my pistol. I was going to go in. I mean, I'd already basically thought to myself, this is going to be it. You ain't going to make it out of this shit alive, man, but fuck it. So I went in there. No, I didn't go in there. Y'all got to forgive me because it's foggy, because I still don't really remember what happened. What I'm regurgitating to you is what other people told me what happened, because I don't even remember it happening. That's how fucked up it is. So I remember driving to the prison. I remember sitting in there contemplating. I remember that. But that's all I basically remember. But then we have these things which is called towers. And the tower that's closest to the entrance is called Tower 1. And so for what I'm hearing is, and this is from the person I was working Tower 1 that day. I got out the ride, started walking to the gate, and then I just stopped. And I just stared at the gate. This is what they're saying. But I don't really understand why I would just stop and stare at the gate. You know what I mean? Like, what's that about? Why would I give a fuck about the gate? I mean, maybe I was having second thoughts. But from what I'm hearing now, from what I think actually happened was, when I walked up there, right next to Tower 1 was a car. And it was a car of one of my redneck homeboys. Yeah, I had a redneck who was actually one of my best friends. Right? He's one of my best partners, man. And I seen his ride right next to the tower. And I was crazy because I remember vividly that he wasn't supposed to be working that day. So he must have been there on overtime. And me being who I am, me trying to be an honorable man, an honorable person, I'm never going to try and put my family and friends in a position where they're fucked up, where they got to make a fucked up decision. You know what I mean? I'm real big on not dishonoring my people or my family, right? So I'm thinking that's basically what happened, man. Even though I don't really have too much of a memory about what happened. Like I say, I remember being at home. I remember cocking my shit, getting in my car, riding up to the spot, and then from then on, everything's just kind of like a blank. And then all of a sudden, I'm back at home. And wifey didn't know nothing about it. Didn't nobody know nothing about it. Because, I mean, I wasn't supposed to work that day. I mean, that was my off day. And I was going up there to kill motherfuckers, man. So let me put it to you this way, man. I've had, like, a lot of incidences where, I mean, you could just say I just didn't have a heart to do it. Just like when I was in the military, and, you know, and I had that captain that was acting an ass. Would I have actually cocked my shit and got rid of his ass? In my heart of hearts, I believe I would. And in my heart of hearts, I believe I probably would have went in that front gate, went in that front lobby and started dumping on motherfuckers, man. I really believe I would have done that, man. If it wasn't for the fact of me seeing the ride of my partner that was up there, man. Because if I'm going to actually flip the fuck out, because y'all be seeing this shit on the news, man, where they talking about, you know, we have a mass shooter. And I'm thinking to myself, I don't understand the psychology of a mass shooter, man. Just going out and shooting people just for the fuck of it. You know, people that ain't did you no wrong. I'm like, I don't understand that shit. If I was to ever do it, man, you best believe motherfuckers deserve what they gonna get. Yeah, man. So the world basically was getting away with murder as far as I was concerned. Because there was a couple of times where justice should have been meted out by my hands. But maybe, just maybe, like I said, I'm a big picture nigga, man. And both times I gotta have a thought process about my family. You know, once you do this, what's gonna happen to your family? What's gonna happen to your wife and your kids? You know what I mean? Like, you can't be so punctified, man, that you go out like this, then you leave them fucked up in the game and stranded with no one to help, you know, raise them and shit, man. So, I mean, maybe that was it. But bottom line is I never reached that level, man, where I thought that, yeah, I should make that move. I should just start dumping on motherfuckers, man. Shit. So, yeah, I remember that day. I remember that. And then I got called up into the office, and I got questioned about it because evidently the folks up in the tower actually seen me with my hands on the pistol, waiting outside Tower 1, waiting outside the gate, just standing there for like 5 minutes. I mean, I didn't even have the weapon concealed. I had it in my hand, Jack. Like, fuck. And then, what do you know, right after that, yeah, I was, bye-bye. They said, we'll get your ass up out of here, man. You guys got to go. So, yeah, man, that's part 2, man. I might have a part 3, man. And if you're a corrections officer or a law enforcement officer, you know, go ahead, man. Don't be shy, man. Feel free to go ahead and comment, bruh. Or if you know anybody who works in that capacity, shit, holler at your boy, man. Big Mike, Almighty Triple XL, coming at y'all live and direct. Philosopher King Central, a Max City Limits radio show. And we out.